Hey guys, it's Kimberly Arnold here, your Team Beachbody coach. I just wanted to get with you today to talk about some meal planning tips and little things I've picked up to help you succeed with the 21-day fix that you're about to start. So first of all, the little book that comes with your program, this is key. Read it front to back to front to back again. It's going to give you everything you need. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about how to handle the nutrition part of your program. As you can see, mine is well used. I have pages about to come out because I thumb through it all the time trying to remember different things and refreshing my memory. So this is going to be your best friend for the next 3 weeks at least. So the first few things I want to point out are you may be freaking out a little bit when you got your containers because you look at this and you say, how can I possibly get enough food? These are really tiny containers. I felt that way when I first got my containers, but I promise you, I have never been hungry since starting this program, except for the days where I skipped some of my containers because I was busy at work or whatever. If I eat all of my containers, I'm never hungry, and it's actually amazing. You know, you fill this little baby up with lettuce, cucumbers, carrots, whatever, and you think, you know, this is a tiny, tiny container, but if you actually then dump that out on a plate, you see how much it really is, and you really are getting plenty of food. So don't freak out. You're going to get plenty of food and you're not going to be hungry. So I just wanted to point that out first of all. So you should have gotten all of your containers and your book and be ready to go. So a couple of things I want to point out is, you know, you want to turn to page 4 and start out by calculating what calorie bracket you're going to be in, because that's going to tell you how many of each of the containers you get to have each day so that you can meal plan and prep accordingly. Something I want to say, and something that the book even says, is that this is not a food eating contest. So if you are eating all the containers in your bracket and or not all of them and you're full, you don't have to keep eating. For all of the containers except green, the number that they give you is the max that you want to be eating. Green is a minimum, so you can actually eat more greens. So if your calorie bracket says that you get 4 greens and, you know, 7 p.m. rolls around and you've eaten all your containers, but you're hungry for whatever reason, go grab some carrots. You could have another green container, okay? So I do want to point that out. You can have more greens, but all the other containers, that's a maximum that you want to consume in a day. So remember to stick to that, okay? So then you've calculated up your calories, you know what bracket you're in, so you know how many of each container that you want to eat each day. The other thing, that I did want to point out, sorry, is that if you are feeling full and so you want to skip a container, try to not always skip the same container, because you want to make sure you're getting a nice balanced diet. So if you're always skipping your blue, or for me it's more frequently the oranges, I don't know why, but I just don't eat a lot of seeds and different things. I don't eat a lot of even salad dressings and things like that, so I tend to skip my orange container, but try to not always do that. Try to make sure that if you're going to be skipping, you switch it up with what you're going to skip each day. Something I would definitely want to point out is that they do give you room in this plan, because this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle. So there's plenty of room in here for what we call, you know, your little cheats or your splurges. So it's okay to have a glass of wine. It's okay to have a few chocolate covered almonds or chocolate covered raisins or whatever you need to do to quench that sweet tooth that you have there. What you do though is you just swap it out for one of your yellows. So what I tend to do is, if I'm in a calorie bracket where I get 3 yellows a day, but you know, it's pretty easy for me to stick into a 2 yellows a day kind of food plan. So come Friday night, if I realize that this week there were 2 days where I only ate 2 yellows instead of 3, I have a couple of extra yellows, and so I'll relax Friday night with a glass of wine or something like that. So you're not going to feel deprived. You get to have all the good things that you want. You're just learning how to reproportion it so that you're eating the right amounts. So definitely keep that in mind. Also keeping in mind when you're drinking your Shakeology, your Shakeologies are red for sure, so that's going to give you a protein. So it depends on how you want to mix your Shakeology as to how it's going to affect your meal plan other than taking up one of your red containers. So before I got pregnant with my son, I loved blending it into like a shake. I did ice and water. My favorite flavor is chocolate, and then I would mix in a teaspoon of peanut butter and like half a banana, and it tasted like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It was great. I loved it. It was my favorite way to make it. So whenever I would put that banana in there, that was one of my purple containers, right? Some days I would use a little bit of unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened coconut milk to make it a little creamier. That's a yellow. So just keeping in mind whatever you're putting in there to count those as your containers as well. It's kind of funny because during pregnancy I developed some food aversions, and now, ever since then, I like my Shakeology, just the Shakeology, very cold water, shake it, drink it, and that's how I like it now. So it's kind of weird, but just remember that whatever you're going to put into your Shakeology, don't forget to track those in your container counts as well. Okay, let's see, what else did I want to tell you guys about? There are lots of great recipes in here for little desserts that you can make, again, to kind of quench that sweet tooth that you may have. Though once you've been drinking your Shakeology for a week or more, I think you're going to notice that you have a lot fewer sweet cravings, and it's going to be a lot easier to avoid foods like that, especially when you're at a party or at work and they're bringing in unhealthy sweet treats. It's going to be easier to avoid those once you've got your Shakeology going, so that'll be nice. Another thing I want to point out is that we are not rabbits. We don't have to eat salad all the time in order to have the bodies that we want. So you do get carbs, you do get protein, and it doesn't have to always be chicken and fish. You can eat red meat, you can eat pork. If you're vegetarian, you can have your tofu. Whatever you want. We're not restricting you here. It's all about lifestyle. So if I told you that, like, oh, you know, you have to eat salads twice a day for the rest of your life, that's not doable. That's not something that you can maintain, and so that's not what we're about here. We're trying to help you find recipes and foods that you like, and then learning how to eat those in the right portions to fuel your body, to give you the energy you need, but to keep you in enough of a calorie deficit that you reach your goals and lose the weight that you want to lose. Definitely, if you pay attention to page 12, it talks about hydration. You want to drink lots of water. So whatever your weight is in pounds, you want to divide that in 2, and that's the number of ounces of water minimum that you need to be drinking every day. So a lot of people, what they'll do is after they have their Shakeology in the morning, they'll rinse out their glass. And then it's kind of cool. What I've seen some people do is they'll take like a magic marker or something and put, you know, a 1 on here, drink it up with water, 2 on here. That way they can keep track of how many waters they've drank in the day. So that's something that may help you get your water in each day. But you can put lemon in your water, lime, anything you want to zest it up a little bit, because I know some people don't love just drinking plain water, but it's important to hydrate your muscles and everything so you don't get too sore after these workouts. So make sure you're doing that. Okay, and then what's next? So that was water. Okay, so then when you're looking at, okay, so here's my green container, what do I put in it? What do I eat? Each of the colored containers, they have a list here of recommended foods. The thing to kind of know and keep in mind is that the foods at the top of the list are the best. So you can eat anything off this list. You can eat other things. They didn't include every vegetable on the face of the earth, obviously. They included the best ones. But you can eat others. Just know that if you want results as quickly, as efficiently as possible, sticking up here to the top in each of these food groups is going to be the best way to do that. But again, you're free to eat anything on the list and things that they didn't put on there as long as it fits into that food group. If you turn to page 42, they have some seasoning mixes. I do recommend that you pick 1 or 2 of these and mix them up and use them, because the other thing that you do want to decrease in your diet is going to be salt. For heart health and everything, but also because salt makes you feel really bloated. And not just feel bloated, it makes you look bloated, and so you get a muffin top and different things like that when you're putting your pants on. No fun. We don't want that. Using some of these other seasonings, I use a lot of chili powder and cumin, oregano, dried thyme, things like that to flavor up my food so that I can decrease the amount of salt I'm using on my food each day. So keep that in mind as well as you're prepping your meals. So definitely read through this book. It gives you some Shakeology recipes, different things, salad dressing recipes, things like that to help you out. So read it. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, you're going to want to drink your Shakeology each day. And like I said, that's going to be one of your red containers. The reason why we do Shakeology is because anytime you are eating a calorie deficient diet because you're trying to lose weight, you're going to miss out on getting some of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that your body needs. And so it's not just a protein shake, it's not just a meal replacement shake, it's all of those things combined to give you all the nutrients you need to make sure you're not missing out on anything while you're in this calorie deficit meal plan. Something else to keep in mind is that as you're losing the weight, you may have to go back periodically and recalculate your calorie bracket to make sure that you're in the right calorie bracket so that you continue to see results and you don't plateau. Now, once you've reached your goals, you can eat more. You can go to a maintenance calorie bracket and maybe squeeze in a few more cheats or whatever it is. But keep in mind that while you're reaching your goals, or while you're working towards your goals, the fewer of those cheats and treats and swaps and things that you do, the sooner you'll reach your goals. You will still reach them, but it will happen sooner if you do less of those swaps with your containers. So just keep that in mind. I have posted a couple of sample meal plans in our challenge group, so definitely take a look at those. But another tip I have for you guys, because meal planning and meal prepping can be really overwhelming sometimes, especially for those of us who have kids, husbands, family, whatever, it can become a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes people end up cooking for me and then I cook for my family over here, and that's no fun and you don't want to have to do that. So and then just sometimes the time it takes to think ahead a full week and plan out your meals can be really overwhelming to some people. So find what works for you. If planning an entire week in advance is too overwhelming, too time consuming, and you can't do it, don't do it. Plan 1 or 2 days in advance. If you like to be really organized and have it planned out, do the full week. So find whatever works for you. But another easy way to make it more simple is kind of figure out a pattern where you eat the same containers at the same time of day each day so that you know you're getting your containers in and you know you're doing it appropriately. So for instance, every morning for breakfast, I'm going to drink my Shakeology, and since I just mix mine with water, I'm going to just eat a piece of fruit with it. That's one of my reds, one of my purples. I'm going to do that every morning for breakfast. About 2 to 3 hours later, I'm going to have a mid-morning snack, and I'm going to make that another purple. I'm going to eat some more fruit. Lunchtime comes around, I'm going to make sure I'm getting a red and a green, and then depending on what I'm eating that day, maybe I'll also have my blue in there. If I'm making like a sandwich, that would be my cheese, my lunch meat, my bread, and then I would have a side of, sweet potatoes, or not sweet potatoes, a side of carrots or something like that in my green. So I'd kind of, do that. And then in my afternoon snack, I'm going to have a green and probably then a red with like a hard-boiled egg or something like that to help keep my energy levels up. And then for dinner, I'm definitely going to have a red. I'm going to have a green, and then depending on where I'm at with my yellows, I may have a yellow with dinner, I may not. and same with the blue. If I didn't have my blue with lunch, I'll have it with dinner. But if I kind of keep it grouped like that, then I know each day that I'm getting in the containers I need. So even if things happened unexpectedly last night and I didn't get to plan out my meals for today, at lunch it's really easy for me to throw together a quick lunch because I know in general what containers I need, and so it's easy for me to plan that out and get into the fridge and get it. The other thing that I like to do is on Sundays, or whatever day of the week works for you, I like to do I say big, it only takes an hour, but a big prep time where I get all my veggies and all my fruit for the week, wash it, cut it up, have it ready to go, put it back in the fridge so that all I have to do is grab it out and I'm good to go. So I'm hungry and I'm hangry and I want something right now. I'm not going to go grab that cookie because I know I have carrots and cucumbers already cut up in the fridge, and so I'm going to go grab a handful of veggies and eat those, and it's much easier to stay on track that way. So definitely doing things like that. The other thing, I was going to tell you guys one more thing. Okay, so I remembered. The other thing I was going to tell you guys is that if you really want to ramp up your results and get them even faster, in the book, let's see, what page was it? On page 6, it talks about the fat burner down at the bottom. You can read about it, but essentially that's saying studies are conflicting, but for a lot of people, it helps speed up results if you don't eat your yellows and purples after 6 p.m. So that might be something that you guys want to try. So make sure you get whatever yellows and purples you're going to eat as you're scheduling that day out. Get those in before 6 p.m. So that anything you're eating after 6 p.m. is going to be in your red, green, blue, orange containers. So that should be it for the meal planning. A couple other things I just want to mention are it's a free app on your phone that you can download for the 21 Day Fix. It's called the 21 Day Fix tracker, and you can go in there every day and put in the containers as you're eating them. So that might help you keep track of what you're eating and keep you on track. I like it, but some people don't like having to go in. So again, find whatever works for you. If you want to be really organized and do something like that, go for it. The other thing is your weights. As you're doing these workouts, try to push yourself. You're going to start out with 2 sets of weights. I did 5s and 10s. Some people start out with 5s and 8s or 5s and 7s. Start out with a light set and a heavy set, but definitely in week 2 or definitely week 3, you should be feeling a lot stronger. So push yourself. If you've been using your 5s on this one exercise, but you're feeling pretty strong and you're not tiring out as easily, grab that heavy set, grab your 8s or your 10s or whatever you have. And if you've been using 10s and now you're feeling stronger, go to the store and get a heavier set. Push yourself, because otherwise you're going to plateau and you're going to stop seeing results. So make sure you're doing that. Okay, I think at least for now that's it. I want you guys to succeed. I want you to see awesome results. I'm really excited for this group to get started. If you have any questions, if you want any guidance, please feel free to either message me or post in the group. I want this group to be very interactive, very energetic. I don't want it to be me just talking and preaching at you guys. I want you to talk to each other, inspire each other, share your favorite recipes and any tricks you found that have helped you, because I really think that that's how we are we're held more accountable that way, and there's more energy, there's more motivation to get things done when we're all interacting with each other. So please, 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 jump in, talk, get to know each other, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So thanks a lot. We'll see you later.